You cannot smash a glass with a single grain of rice. However, a single person alone can slowly and gradually break a mountain. A person went from America to Russia to purchase used spare parts of missiles to create something that had never been created before. A rocket. Not the type that would fly from Earth, but the one that would land on Earth. A rocket that no one had ever thought could be a feasible idea. Even if someone had thought about this idea, there was a possibility that no one knew how to get it landed back on Earth. And even if someone had thought about it, the idea was never put into reality. But this guy, who didn't know the ABCD of rocket science nor had any engineering degree from college, was all set to create such a rocket that even big rocket-making companies would have never imagined. A rocket that could land back on Earth. By that time, launching rockets to space was pretty common. However, any person who had the ability to bring it back to Earth could be termed as the real Iron Man of the real world. The Russians asked for too much money from this guy, and it is rumored that he was insulted by the Russian committee during the meeting. Someone even dared to spit at him allegedly and insulted him by saying, "You don't have enough money, and you came to Russia to buy rockets." Without completing the deal, this guy returned to his country, America, and picked up books from that same day in search of an answer. Why he couldn't make a rocket by himself. He said to himself that one day he would create a rocket that could go to space at a very economical price and, at the same time, would return back to Earth so that it could be reused. He started reading books like a madman and started his first project. In 2006. Just after his rocket was launched, within 37 seconds, it met with an accident and hit the ground. The rocket was smashed into pieces, and the project failed. Although he had been working on this project for the last 4 years, he suffered a monetary loss. He started to find out the answers for the accident, what exactly he missed. After a year, he launched a different rocket. However, it was also a failure. The mission failed, the rocket crashed, and he suffered a monetary loss too. He tried again after a year and met with the same destiny. The mission failed, the rocket crashed, and he suffered a loss of money. This guy failed thrice, and now he only had enough money to try one more time. All the engineers who used to work for him started leaving their jobs. However, this guy was so motivated and did his homework so well that he thought about taking a risk once again. But he didn't have sufficient money to hire better engineers, and he himself didn't want to keep cheap engineers. Then he thought that since he had done his homework so well, why not become the chief engineer of his project himself? Just imagine becoming the chief engineer of a project without even holding a basic degree in rocket science from a university. That was strange and risky, especially since he had suffered monetary losses in his 3 previous projects. However, no one was able to damage his confidence level. He was incredibly focused and dedicated his heart and soul to this 4th project. And then, something happened that no one else in the world had been able to do. The world saw the cheapest rocket in the history of science launched. With a low budget, a rocket was launched for the first time in the history of mankind. This task was addressed by a person whom no one taught how to build rockets. Today, that guy's company is known by the name of SpaceX. And his rockets are so strong that even NASA uses them to send packages into space. Generally, NASA used their own rockets earlier for space missions. However, they were too costly, so they decided to sign a deal with this guy as his rockets were much more economical. However, this guy didn't stop there. He said that this time he will create a rocket which can be used times and again. When a rocket goes to space with a satellite, it gets lost in space and cannot be reused. Which means this guy was planning to build a rocket that could go to space with a satellite, come back to Earth, and then be reused to send another satellite. In 2011, when this guy announced that he wants to make a rocket that could land back on Earth, a lot of people made fun of him. All the big guns said that it was a bogus idea because an airplane can land, but the idea of making a rocket land is impossible. However, this guy never had the word impossible mentioned in his dictionary. He was determined to make a rocket that would land back on Earth and prove everyone wrong. For the next 4 years, he worked like a madman and made several attempts, all of which failed. Finally, in 2015, the world saw a sight that had until then only been seen in science fiction Hollywood movies. This guy succeeded in creating a rocket that could land back on Earth. He made the impossible, simply possible. And he didn't stop there. He made that rocket launch on a platform floating in water with precision and accuracy. Genius, isn't it? Now when a rocket launches, it leaves the satellite and comes back to Earth so that it can be reused. If he cannot be called the Iron Man of the Earth, then I wonder who can be. He is the real Iron Man of the real world. This was the same guy who read lots of books in his childhood, and there was a scarcity of books around him. So he decided to read the encyclopedia. Today, he is the richest man in the world. People call him Elon Musk. But for people like us, he is an ideal and an inspiration. An inspiration to change the world. My dear friends, we all know what it's like to fail. We've all experienced setbacks and disappointments that have made us question our abilities and our worth. Today's failure is not fatal, and success is not final. It's the courage to continue that counts. Too often, we let our circumstances define us. We blame our failures on external factors and convince ourselves that success is out of our reach. But circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself. It's up to us to rise above our circumstances and show the world what we're truly capable of. Yes, success can be elusive. It's easy to get discouraged when we stumble from failure to failure. But we must remember that success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. And when we do achieve success, it's important to remember that it's not how high we have climbed, but how we make a positive difference to the world. Success is not just about personal gain, it's about using our talents and abilities to make a meaningful contribution to society. Just like Elon Musk. So my friends, I urge you to keep going. Don't watch the clock, do what it does. Keep moving forward, no matter how hard it gets. Remember, you have the power to make a difference in your own life and the lives of others. Don't let failure define you. Let your courage and determination be your defining traits. Success is within your reach, and you will have to seize it. It's the grit and determination we show in the face of adversity that sets us apart from those who give up. This is just the first part of the Elon Musk story. The climax of the movie is still left, my friend. While we are watching this video, our inspiration is busy creating more crazy stuff to shock the world. Please like, share, and subscribe if you too are an Elon Musk fan, and tell us in the comments if you want a second part of this video.